What's up, everybody? It's CMP with Craftmaster Productions and Studio1Tutorials.com. Today we're going to be looking at some like an arrangement tip, another arrangement video. I did a tutorial earlier this morning for Studio1Tutorials.com, and what I personally do when I do my tutorials, because as I make them, I'm also learning, believe it or not. So you know, after I make that tutorial video, I'll go in and I'll apply some of the techniques that I discovered myself into my current production. So what I did was I did a tutorial on the Bring Them Things from French Montana, and you know, they sampled a classic hip-hop record, and it's a loop going over and over again, and the way they brought variation into it was through the drum programming. So that's definitely something that's super cool and easy to do within a push. So I have this, you know, I have this loop set up. So like already, I don't intend to really do much with the sample, or you know, make the arrangement music based. I want to make it percussion based. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just hitting duplicate and making another another scene here, and I'm just gonna make it easy. I have one scene where it's just full drums going. All right, so in this second scene, I think what I want to do is I want to get rid of the straight hat going, and just leave the rolls. And what we're listening for here is a transfer of energy. You can hear just between those two patterns, you have, you know, a significant difference in energy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this one again. And for this one, I think I'm going to just completely get rid of the hi-hat altogether. So let me just delete the hi-hat. And I'm going to, let me see what else I got. I have this hi-hat sample going on as well. Yeah. All right, cool. So what also another thing I'm going to do with this section is I'm going to make a change to the snare. The snare is carrying a significant amount of energy and a significant amount of the rhythm in this track. Right, so that snare is adding a lot to the groove. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of the hits that aren't on the threes. All right, so now I just have this pattern. Shoot. Hold up. I'm fucking up. All right. So now we have this pattern. All right, but I want to add a different sound to it, give it a different feel. So I'm going to use a clap. And that really works well, like switching from a snare to a clap, or even a snare to a snap. What that does is that enables you to, you know, it's like it's a natural thing. It's a human sound to just kind of have the breakdown and everybody starts clapping. Everybody's been to either church or a concert where everybody's kind of clapped in unison, and it kind of brings your mind back to that place. So that is definitely another useful device when you're building these types of arrangements. then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the main loop, duplicate it one more time, and this is just the easiest transfer of energy right here. Is we're going to go ahead and just hold down delete and get rid of our 808. And during this section, I'm gonna add a slight variance to the kick. Let me just go ahead and get this down into eighth notes. I'm gonna add a ghost note. See, you see what that does to the rhythm right there? So let's just delete this. All right, so you go from that to this. I'm gonna add it again over here, right? Then what I'll do is I'll go ahead into, just click off this right here, press shift play to get my playhead back, go ahead and press record. My cue here. No big deal when you're doing this. Just go ahead, start over. All right, so what I kind of did here is I just made a I kind of looked to this first 8 as my hook right here, and then this will be my 16. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and now that I've got that done, just click this button so all of the scenes don't play at the same time, and highlight everything, right? Press Control D, duplicate it out. Now I got 2 verses. Just go ahead right here, hold down Control, drag this out. Now I have my 2 verses and my last hook. Let's just go ahead and give it a real quick listen. And then actually what I feel like doing is I'm gonna take this, move it over 1, right? I'm gonna take my music pieces, right? Hold down Control and just start a little intro. So yeah, real, real quick, real easy. As you can see, first of all, this track doesn't sound anything like the the track reference, the bring them things, and that's because and I've always tried to do this even back when I was watching tutorials, and I hope this is what you guys are doing when you're going through YouTube and going through these tutorials. Don't sit there and try to remake what you see on the screen. Put see what they're doing, like, oh, okay, they're using a sample, they're using this chord progression, let me flip it in my own way. I see that they're using drums to push and pull energy, let me try to do that in my own way. Replicating what somebody's doing in the tutorial isn't going to help you at all. So yeah, man, this is a technique that I use to this day. And just remember, when you're if you've got like a really nice 4-bar 2-bar loop, some sample type of shit, and you just want to stay in that raw hip-hop pocket, and you want to still create a dynamic and interesting type of instrumental, it's very easy to do. You just need to remember that the energy and the transfer of that energy is going to occur in the drums. So this is CMP with Craftmaster Productions, Studio1Tutorials.com. Don't forget to stop by Studio One Tutorials and pick up a copy of CMP 555. They're the drums from 444 transcribed to just make it easy to go ahead and make your sample based projects. So keep it simple, don't be basic, and we will see you on the next one.